The parking lot outside the veterinary clinic was half empty. Morning sun cut through the windows of parked cars, illuminating dust motes that hung in the still air. Captain Rachel Morrison sat in her truck with the windows down, one hand resting on the head of the German Shepherd in the passenger seat. The dog's name was Titan. 85 pounds of muscle and scar tissue. One ear had a notch missing from shrapnel. His right front leg had a slight limp from a bullet that had grazed bone 3 years ago in Kandahar. His eyes were amber and intelligent and constantly scanning for threats that no longer existed. Rachel scratched behind his good ear. "We're just here for a checkup, buddy. Nothing to worry about." Titan's tail thumped once against the seat. He trusted her. That was the bond. 4 years of deployment together. 4 years of missions where they'd relied on each other to stay alive. 4 years of a partnership deeper than anything Rachel had experienced with another human being. She opened the door and Titan jumped down, waiting at her side. No leash. He didn't need one. Where she went, he went. That was the only rule that mattered. They walked toward the clinic entrance. Rachel was in civilian clothes, jeans and a faded army t-shirt. Nothing that marked her as an officer. Nothing that identified Titan as a military working dog who'd saved more lives than most soldiers ever would. The clinic door opened, and a woman walked out with a small poodle on a rhinestone leash. The poodle yapped. Titan ignored it. Rachel guided him inside. The waiting room smelled like disinfectant and anxiety. 3 other people sat with their pets. A man with a cat carrier, a teenage girl with a rabbit, an older woman with a chihuahua trembling in her lap. Rachel signed in at the front desk. The receptionist, a young woman with purple hair and too much eye makeup, glanced at the form. "Dog's name is Titan?" "Yes." "Breed?" "German Shepherd." The receptionist looked at Titan, her nose wrinkled slightly. "Is he a rescue?" "You could say that. He looks rough, like a stray. Does he have his shots?" Rachel felt her jaw tighten. He has all his shots. He's not a stray, he's a retired military working dog. The receptionist's expression didn't change. "Uh-huh. Well, the vet will see him in about 20 minutes. You can have a seat." Before we go any further, hit that subscribe button right now and stay with this story all the way to the end. Drop a comment telling me what city you're watching from. I want to see how far this story reaches. Rachel sat in a plastic chair near the window. Titan lay at her feet, his body relaxed but his eyes alert. He was always alert. Even in sleep, part of him was on guard. That's what 4 deployments did to a dog, made them excellent at their job, made it hard for them to ever truly rest. The woman with the chihuahua was staring, not at Rachel, at Titan. "Excuse me," the woman said. Her voice was sharp. "Is that dog safe? He looks aggressive." Rachel looked up, kept her voice calm. "He's perfectly safe. He has scars all over him. What kind of dog fights?" "He doesn't fight. He's a military working dog. He served 4 tours overseas." The woman sniffed. "Well, I don't think he should be around other animals. My Precious is very sensitive. If that dog attacks her, he won't attack anyone. He's trained." "Trained for what? Fighting?" Rachel took a slow breath. "Trained to detect explosives, to find insurgents, to protect soldiers. He saved more lives than you can count." The woman looked skeptical. "He looks like a stray someone picked up off the street." Rachel didn't respond. Just looked down at Titan. His amber eyes met hers. In them she saw every mission they'd run together. Every IED he'd detected before it could kill someone. Every firefight where he'd alerted to enemy positions. Every night he'd slept next to her cot, a warm presence in the darkness. What this woman saw as a stray, Rachel saw as a hero. Titan's military career had started when he was 18 months old. Selected from a breeding program in Germany, shipped to Lackland Air Force Base for training. He'd excelled immediately. His detection rate was 97%. His obedience was flawless. His drive to work was unmatched. Rachel had been assigned as his handler 3 years into her Army career. She'd volunteered for the K-9 program after watching a military working dog save her convoy from an IED in Helmand Province. She'd seen what these dogs could do, wanted to be part of it. The partnership had been instant. Some handlers struggled to bond with their dogs, took months to build trust. Rachel and Titan had clicked on day one. She understood him. He understood her. They moved together like one organism, thought together, fought together. Their first deployment had been Afghanistan. Foot patrols through villages where every pile of trash could hide a bomb. Every doorway could conceal an enemy. Titan had walked point, his nose working constantly, alert, focused. When he sat down, it meant he'd detected explosives. When he barked, it meant hostile presence. The platoon learned to read him like a language. In 6 months, Titan detected 32 IEDs, saved countless lives, earned a reputation as the best detection dog in the province. But detection was only part of his job. He'd also been trained for apprehension, to take down hostile combatants when ordered, to hold them until soldiers could secure them. His first neutralization had been a Taliban fighter who'd opened fire on the patrol from a rooftop. Rachel had given the command. Titan had moved like lightning, scaled a wall, taken the man down before he could reload, held him by the arm, teeth locked, until soldiers arrived. The fighter had survived, lost the use of his arm, but survived. That was Titan's specialty, controlled aggression. He never killed unless he had to, just neutralized threats, removed them from the fight. Over 4 deployments, Titan had 47 confirmed hostile neutralizations, 47 enemy combatants taken out of action without killing them, 47 instances where he'd done what human soldiers couldn't do fast enough or safely enough. He'd been shot twice, hit by shrapnel 4 times, had survived an IED blast that killed 2 soldiers and sent Rachel to the field hospital with a concussion and hearing loss that still plagued her. He'd earned a medal, the Dickin Medal, the animal equivalent of the Victoria Cross, awarded for gallantry, for valor, for extraordinary service. But the woman in the vet clinic saw none of that, just saw a scarred dog who looked rough around the edges. The vet called them back. Dr. Sarah Martinez, mid-40s, kind eyes. She knelt down to greet Titan, who accepted her attention calmly. "This is the famous Titan," Martinez said. "I've read about you, boy. You're a legend." Rachel felt something loosen in her chest. "You know about him?" "Know about him? He's in the journals. There's a whole case study on military working dogs and their handlers. Titan is featured prominently. 47 hostile neutralizations, 32 IED detections in 1 deployment. That's an extraordinary record." Martinez stood and looked at Rachel. "You're Captain Morrison?" "Yes, ma'am." "I'm honored. Really. Let's get this hero examined." The examination took 20 minutes. Martinez was thorough. Checked Titan's teeth, his joints, his scars. Drew blood for standard tests. The whole time, she talked to him in a gentle voice, treating him with the respect he'd earned. "His hip is showing some arthritis," Martinez said. "Normal for a dog his age with his service record. I'll prescribe something for the pain. Otherwise, he's in remarkable shape. You're taking good care of him." "He takes care of me," Rachel said quietly. Martinez smiled. "That's how it works with these dogs, isn't it?" They give everything. We owe them everything in return. They walked back to the waiting room. The woman with the chihuahua was gone. The receptionist was on her phone, barely looking up as they passed. Outside, the sun was higher now. The parking lot was filling up. Rachel opened the truck door and Titan jumped in, settling into his spot. Before Rachel could get in, a voice called out, "Excuse me, ma'am." She turned. A man was walking toward her, mid-30s, wearing a faded Marine Corps t-shirt. He had the walk, the bearing, fellow veteran. "I was inside," he said. "Heard that lady giving you grief about your dog. Heard you say he's a military working dog. That's right." The man looked at Titan through the window. "Afghanistan? 4 tours. Iraq, 2 tours. Had a dog on my team. Nico, Belgian Malinois, best soldier I ever served with." His voice caught slightly. "He didn't make it home." Rachel nodded. She knew that story, had heard it too many times. Military working dogs killed in action, dogs who gave their lives for their handlers, for the mission. "I'm sorry," she said. The man wiped his eyes. "Don't be. He died doing what he was born to do, protecting his Marines. I just wanted to say thank you for giving your dog the retirement he deserves. A lot of handlers don't. They retire the dog and move on. But you're still with him." "He's not just a dog," Rachel said. "He's my partner, my brother. I'd never abandon him." The man reached out and shook her hand. His grip was firm. "You're good people, ma'am. Your dog is lucky to have you." He walked away. Rachel got in the truck, sat there for a moment. Titan's head rested on her shoulder. His breath was warm against her neck. She thought about what the receptionist had said, what the woman with the chihuahua had implied. That Titan was just a stray, just a rough-looking dog with no value. They had no idea, no concept of what this dog had done, the lives he'd saved, the missions he'd completed, the bond he'd formed with a soldier who trusted him more than anyone else in the world. Rachel started the truck and headed home. The apartment was small, 1 bedroom, a living room barely big enough for a couch and a TV, but it had a yard, fenced, secure, a place where Titan could run and play and just be a dog. She let him out and watched him sniff around the perimeter. Even now he was checking for threats, securing the area. Old habits died hard. That night, Rachel sat on the couch with Titan's head in her lap. The TV was on, but she wasn't watching, just thinking. About the clinic, about the woman's words, about all the people who looked at Titan and saw something damaged, something less than. Her phone rang, her former platoon sergeant, Williams. They talked once a month, stayed connected, the bond of people who'd survived things together. "Morrison," Williams said. "How's the best K-9 team in the Army doing?" "We're good, just got back from the vet." "Everything okay with Titan?" "He's fine. Some arthritis, nothing serious." "Good. That dog deserves to live forever. You know he saved my life, right? That IED he detected outside Kandahar. I was 10 feet from stepping on it." "I know." "Does he know? Does he understand what he did?" Rachel looked down at Titan. His eyes were closed, but his ears were up, listening to her voice. "I think he does. I think he knows exactly what he did. Every single mission, every single save. He remembers." "Dogs like that are special," Williams said. "Once in a lifetime. You were lucky to get him." "No," Rachel said quietly. "He was lucky to get me, because I'll never let anyone treat him like he's less than what he is. A warrior, a hero, family." They talked for another 10 minutes. shared stories, remembered friends who hadn't made it home. Then Williams had to go, said goodbye. Rachel set the phone down. The apartment was quiet. Outside, she could hear cars passing. The distant sound of a siren. Normal city life. Titan shifted, his head still in her lap. She scratched behind his ear. The notched one. The scar from shrapnel. "You know what you are, buddy?" she said softly. "You're not a stray. You're not damaged. You're not less than anything. You're a soldier. You served with honor. You saved lives. You earned every scar. And anyone who can't see that is blind." Titan's tail thumped against the couch. Rachel thought about the future. Titan was 9 now. Old for a working dog. He had maybe 5 good years left, maybe less. She'd make every one of them count, would give him the retirement he'd earned, the peace he deserved. She thought about the 47 people Titan had neutralized, hostile combatants who'd lived because Titan had been trained to incapacitate, not kill. Who'd gone to prison camps instead of graves. Who had families who still had a chance to see them again someday. She thought about the 32 IEDs he'd detected. The soldiers who'd walked past those bombs because Titan's nose had found them first. The letters she still received from some of those soldiers. Thank you notes. Photos of their kids. Stories of lives lived because a dog had done his job. She thought about the bond. The unbreakable connection between handler and dog. The way Titan had trusted her with his life. The way she'd trusted him with hers. The way they'd become something more than soldier and animal. Partners. Brothers in arms. "We did good work," she said to him. "You and me. We saved people, made a difference. And now we get to rest. Together. For as long as we have." Titan opened his eyes, looked at her with those amber eyes that had seen too much, that had witnessed war and death and things no dog should see, but also loyalty, also love, also the simple truth that some bonds transcend species, transcend words, transcend everything, except the choice to stand beside someone through the worst the world can offer. Rachel leaned down and pressed her forehead against his. "You're not a stray," she whispered. "You're mine, and I'm yours. Forever." Outside, the city continued its rhythm. Inside, a soldier and her dog sat in the quiet. 2 warriors, 2 survivors, 2 souls who'd found each other in the chaos of war and refused to let go. The world could call Titan whatever it wanted, could see only the scars, the rough exterior, the evidence of a hard life. But Rachel knew the truth, and that was all that mattered. He was a hero, a protector, a brother, and nothing would ever change that. Loyalty isn't measured in words or appearances. It's measured in action, in sacrifice, in the choice to put yourself between danger and the people you're sworn to protect. Dogs like Titan understand this instinctively. They don't serve for recognition or reward. They serve because it's who they are. Because the bond with their handler is everything. Because protecting is more important than survival. People see scars and assume damage. They see rough edges and assume less value. But those scars are medals, evidence of battles fought and won, evidence of a life lived in service to something greater than self. The unbreakable bond between handler and dog isn't built on perfection. It's built on trust earned through fire, on loyalty tested and proven, on the simple truth that some partnerships transcend everything the world throws at them. And when you find that kind of bond, you protect it. You honor it. You never let anyone diminish it. Because it's the rarest thing in the world, worth more than gold, worth more than recognition, worth everything.